our boy Hasan caught a 24-hour ban for showing the manifesto of Elias Rodriguez, the DC shooter who shot 2 Israeli embassy staffers. Now, you'll recall when I went over it I did not show the manifesto on screen. I just read excerpts from it and basically summarized what I was reading through, right? Out of fear of this happening. Because it is TOS to link it, it is TOS to show it, it's TOS to read it in its entirety. Now, there is a very silly idea in regular media, like, CNN, legacy media, amongst the public and on Twitch as well, that if you show a manifesto, if you read it out, it casts some type of spell on people, and they will do the same thing that the, writer of the manifesto did. It will cast some type of, curse on people. It's very silly. Manifestos can be accessed online. If you have even a little bit of Google foo, you could find it. If you have the capabilities to make a Twitch account and watch a stream, you're capable of finding it. You're right, it's paternalistic. Yeah, it's just very silly. Now, there have been instances where mass shooters, domestic terrorists, have referenced other shooters and domestic terrorists. Elliot something, I can't remember, the incel. He has been referenced by other incel murderers, mass shooters, and whatnot. And also Candace Owens, Lauren Southern, Tim Pool, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro. They've all been referenced in manifestos. If this idea that showing it and giving it the proper care and consideration and analyzing it, if that is TOS, then you would not have any right-wing media in this country, because these motherfuckers are basically posting manifestos every day. A manifesto is just a explanation of your ideology and your motivations. Ben Shabibo and all the right-wingers are doing that every time they get in front of a camera. And it just so happens that they're referenced in a lot of fucking manifestos. Now, the reason that I think this TOS rule should stay in play, right? Because I think should be reworked. I do think improper handling of terrorist propaganda, right? Terrorist propaganda, I think, is the wrong wording we should use here. Violent propaganda, right? Violent propaganda, I think, is more so what we should be, describing this as, because terrorist is a amorphous descriptor, right? Now, a 24-hour suspension is not the worst thing that could have happened, right? You're at Hasan's level, you could just eat that ban, right? Most people could eat that ban, even if you're a smaller streamer. Any longer than that, that would devastate a smaller streamer. He'd be fine if it was a 2-week one, and we'd be eating good over here. The reason that this one was enforced is because Hasan has been getting a lot of negative media coverage, right? Positive and negative, but when I say negative, I mean Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL. And because Twitch already folded from pressure by the ADL, they are going to do it again. They're going to keep doing it every time Jonathan Greenblatt calls up the Twitch offices. Yeah, if you capitulate once to fascists, you'll keep doing it. Yeah, if you show that you are willing to fold, then they'll keep pushing you. So John, he needs to go away. I mean, John needs to be sued. The ACLU needs to sue Jonathan Greenblatt and his organization, as well as, Stop Anti-Semitism and, Beitar and Canary Mission. They need to do a massive class action. I did say completely absurd and arbitrary misapplication of TOS. When I say it's absurd, I mean it's absurd on its face, because this is valuable. There is a fuck ton of misinformation going out about this shooting, immediately. Just so much misinformation. So having someone go through it, line by line, and correct the misinformation is valuable. Silencing that is an attack on journalism. It's an attack on free press. It's everything that, the right is supposed to stand against, but they never really have. Now, I did see someone in chat earlier today, suggest, well, there just needs to be a news category. No. That's what just chatting is for. Just chatting is for conversation. Yeah, also define news. What is news? Are we talking about the, latest games coming out? Is it we're watching the PlayStation event? Is that news? Technically it's news. Are we talking about pop culture? That's technically news. The whole point is to be able to, educate a broader audience. Ethan Clyde has posted 35 manifestos on Instagram stories explaining his motivations and arguments every fucking day, and he has been responsible for actual revenue and material damage of entire Arabs podcast. He has instigated ADL, Jerry Seinfeld, a pedophile, and a person who has actually helped calling cops on pro-Palestinian protesters, has donated to his stream, but that does not violate YouTube TOS. Like, it's crystal fucking clear. YouTube does not enforce TOS. The only thing YouTube enforces is DMCA. That's it. And that's why doing a stream like this one, or Hasan's, is impossible on YouTube. That's it. The only thing they care about is DMCA. S-Fan posted this around the same time that Asman was saying this on stream, so S-Fan's just laundering his takes at this point. Yeah, Asman's saying that we should just ban politics. Hey man, you would get banned too. Asman can say he doesn't care about Twitch. That's bullshit. That's where your audience is. If Asman were to stream on YouTube, he would get a half of the normal views that he gets. You're on Twitch because there is a dedicated hate mob on this platform. When I watched asmongold cover Hasan's ban for reading the manifesto related to the shooting in DC involving 2 Israeli embassy staffers, I immediately thought of something Asman once said. At first, I thought he was talking about the DC shooting.
Apparently not, and this is his,
Meaning, why I've decided to bomb an IVF building.
I think if I watch this, I'll get in trouble, especially like, cause, the guys, like, what is terrorism? Well, this is terrorism, right? 100%. So like, I'll let you know that I would watch this whole thing, but I just don't want to get in trouble from, Twitch. Because as we all know, playing things made by terrorists is against the rules, and you're not allowed to do that, okay? Yeah, it's very big no-no. You're not supposed to do that. Never do that.
It turns out he was actually referring to the manifesto of the IVF bomber in California. Still, I think it's hilarious to consider if asmongold had covered a manifesto like that, he probably wouldn't have received a permanent ban from Twitch. Meanwhile, Hasan drives straight into reading a manifesto and only gets a 24-hour ban on his day off, no less. Only is fair. That's a fair, ban. Like, if you're going to, suspend someone temporarily or going over a manifesto despite TOS, 24 hours is fair, right? It's dumb. It shouldn't happen. It's another attack on free press. But in the scale of, punishment, it's fine. Asman wouldn't have gotten banned at all. Come on. Yeah, of course he wouldn't have. I love how we're making hypothetical things to get mad about. Of course, dude, of course. That is the entire right-wing content pipeline. You make up problems to get mad at, and then they become discourse, and people pretend it's a real thing. In order for Asman to catch a 2-week ban, he had to just say it out loud. And he often does say it out loud, but he grabbed the ball and ran the whole 100 yards with it.